more exploratory, so they can try to find
Some way around it.
some way to work around it. So appreciate it. It's been tough, no question about it. But we went over today and cleaned her house, and Ron's bringing her dinner tonight, and she's back to where she looks very haggard and very worn out, thin. And
So sorry to hear that.
oh no,
Dang it.
we thank you. We really do appreciate it. It's tough stuff.
It is. You shouldn't be seeing
Hard to
kids
watch our
go through
babies
this.
not do well.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
All right.
All right, we'll go ahead and get this meeting started. Welcome everyone here in person and online to this council meeting here. We are holding November 6th, 2023 here in the Lindon City Center. I welcome you here along with my fellow council members. And we will first begin with an invocation. And I see that I am assigned today for the invocation. I have that honor. So, followed by, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. We have some scouts here. We're honored to have them here and some recognition coming up. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Max Hall. Thank you. Our Father in heaven, as we gather this evening, this fall day, we acknowledge thy hand in the many great blessings that we have in this community and in this fine city and in our country. And as we see much turmoil at home and abroad, our hearts are full. Our hearts are full of gratitude, but also sincere requests of thee to bless those that are serving us, putting themselves in harm's way, to bless those that are trying to help those that are in need, help those that are experiencing unfortunate circumstances. We are very grateful for those that are willing to serve this great community in small ways and large, from everyday citizens in their good and daily activities with their families and with their work and school. And we ask thee to help us to remember to have gratitude in our hearts each and every day for the tender mercies that thou dost provide us. We ask, as we go about the business of the city, we will remember to love one another, to always treat one another with respect and kindness. And again, we thank thee for these things and ask for these blessings, especially for those among us who are experiencing health issues and other challenges. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Will the audience please rise? Please recite after me the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Max. And I promise I did remember your name. He was mouthing his name to me, but in case I was in a tight spot there. All right. So we will now have our call to order. And I'll start here on my left, please.
Van Broderick, present.
Randy Powell, present.
Carolyn Lundberg, present.
Mike Van Cherry, present.
Jake Hoyt. Present.
All right, wonderful. Next, we will be on item number 2 of the agenda. This is our presentations and announcement portion of the meeting. And I am very excited to be presenting a couple of exemplary young men here this evening who just recently earned the rank of Eagle Scout. And we have these 2 young men. Let's have them come forward, please. And would like to welcome their parents as well. We have Amy Allen and her son, Sam Allen. And then we have Max and his father, Star. And these young men recently, along with a third who could not be here this evening, we want to recognize what they've done in the community with their efforts. The rank of Eagle Scout is only 6% of all young men who enter the Boy Scouts of America program achieve this rank, and they have to go through many years of service and skill building and leadership, lead a project in leadership. And so we wanted to hear a little bit about what you did for your project.
I redid some of the landscaping at Oak Canyon Junior High, and I helped fundraise for some of the mulch to help redo some of the landscaping.
Awesome.
I had the opportunity to redo a half-court basketball court up at a park near the mountain. Don't exactly know what it's called. It's in Lindon City, and I was able to repaint the lines for it, and we dug out some benches and replaced them around the court to make it more safe. It was awesome.
Fantastic. Those are wonderful things to do in our community, and I'd love to give our council an opportunity. So Troop 836 is the one troop here in our community, and we appreciate the parents who are helping develop these find characters in our community, and these young men serving and giving back to the community.
Congratulations, as a mother of 4 Eagle Scout Awards recipients. It's so nice to see this again. We just haven't had this opportunity to witness young men going to this, achieving this, and so grateful for all that you've done and also for the opportunity to have you here with us.
I agree. Who's your scoutmaster?
Doug Allen.
Oh, Doug Allen. Okay.
Well, wonderful. Well, I wanted to present you something for your service in the community and your and recognition of this. And right here I have, you will be the first ones to get these in the community. This is our Lindon Centennial lapel pin that we're just hot off the presses. And I know this is a little bit early. Centennial is 2024, but I thought this would be a great memento with your Eagle Award and your mementos for the year. So if we could, I'd love to give these to you here, and maybe I could have the council come and we could do a quick picture with you if that's all right. Okay. All right, thank you again. Now moving on, do we have any other presentations or announcements from the council at this time? Okay, wonderful. We'll go on to item number 3 on the agenda. This is our open session for public comment, and this is for any items not listed on tonight's agenda, which is at the front door, for anyone who would like to address the council. Welcome. Please state your name. Thank you for being here, Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Council and Mayor. I'm Mike Kennedy, the senator for this area, and it's good to be with you again. I've been here before, and this is an opportunity for me to do my city home teaching. It's now, anyways, ministering, or however you want to think about it. But I love this area, and I was mentioning earlier before the meeting started, I spend more time here than I do in my home, and I appreciate everything you do to make the place a great place. And we all acknowledge, as public servants, it's our citizens, including these nice new Eagle Scouts and their parents and the Scoutmasters and people like that are making Utah a great place to live. So I'm State Senator Mike Kennedy. I'm happy to be here. And I don't really have any specific burning issues, but I did want to make sure that you know that I'm available if you have questions or needs. As usual, since I work just across the street on 275 South, 200 North, right over here on Premier Family Medical. 275 West, I should say, is I'm always interested in safety associated with my office because there's a lot of lanes and a lot of people zipping down this road, and I still think we need a light there, even though UDOT does not believe so. And that's a personal office thing, but we have a lot more business here that is developed right at that intersection, so I'm interested in that. I know it's a coalition between the city as well as UDOT. I've got an outreach to UDOT, just find out where they're at, but turning left to go north on State Street from the west side is still a very dangerous proposition. I've had a couple of patients over the past 5 years get in major car crashes. So I know that's an issue that you've heard from me before about, and I'll just put it on your radar again. But I'll say as a legislator, the legislative session during an election year is always, we're on our best behavior in 2024 because all of the representatives and half of the senators are up for re-election. And you see the more reprehensible bills or the painful bills or whatever, they were done last year and not this upcoming year. So I think it'll be rainbows, unicorns, and lollipops this next session. I had to carry the transgender health bill, which was a really heavy, frankly painful process. And I think most of you probably know my house was vandalized as a result of that. And I've got a death threat on my phone right now that if you'd like to listen to it at some point, from people all over the country responded. Anyway, that's a complicated bill, and as a doctor, it was one that I was well suited to carry, but there's no need to get into the unpleasantries associated with that. But I'm deeply invested in making sure Lindon and you are, as mayor and city council, are protected from the mandates that might come from the state, just like I'm offended when Washington, D.C. tells Utah how to run the state. I believe you should be, and I am with you and having that same offense if the state is telling you what you need to do as to city planning, how to use your water, how to regulate your roads, and all that sort of thing. So I'm a big fan of local control, and I've stood by that. My record for the past 10 years is consistent that way. I suppose after you voted for thousands of bills, there's probably somewhere in there somebody could complain, but I want to hear from you. I want to hear from these people behind me and anybody listening too. It helps me to be better in my decision making when I have people that I know that I can trust that give me opinions about some of the bills that sometimes are difficult to understand the full permutations of them. So local control is something I'll stand with, balanced budget and keeping Washington out of our business. I think Utah is generally doing well. There's always something to work on, obviously, but I'm open for any questions you might have from particularly my elected official friends that are in front of me. And I guess if there are any citizens that wanted to throw Rotten Tomatoes, or we get plenty of that too, but hopefully my back is to you people, so be gentle. But any questions or comments about how things are going and how I can help?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot that you took the time to come here.
Yeah.
We love to see our counterparts, in the legislature come and take the time and have this dialogue and this interaction. If one of the constituents wants to reach you, what is the best way to contact you by
Texting
email?
me is always best, so 385-268-9458 is a great way to reach out. And I'll say to you as well as anybody else is I don't need long explanations and 60-minute YouTube videos for me to watch. Just tell me what you think. I can find those things myself and watch them as I wish, but I love information, just introduction where I'm from. So person that texts me says, this is my name, this is where I live, this is what I think about whatever you people are talking about up there. Those are the kind of things that help me a lot. And I think you get it too. I get robot texts and emails. It's easy to tell the template, and I don't need 500 messages on one thing generated by a computer. What I need is people that really have an interest in these things, and I know you do. We all care, and we're a team on this. And I'm your servant leader as far as I want to make sure I hear from you, but I haven't heard a whole lot from you, presuming that things are mostly okay. I do have a proposal in front of me about disposal of e-waste from a city attorney from Pleasant Grove, and I'm considering opening a bill file on how do we dispose of e-waste. And then fiscal sustainability is a big deal. I have been in charge of the public school appropriations and also social services appropriations, the two largest budgets in the state of Utah. And so we do not have infinite amounts of money. And so I'm very sensitive to taxpayer dollars being used appropriately and cutting taxes when we can, which we have. We've cut hundreds of millions of dollars of taxes in the past couple sessions, which I'm proud of. Give power to the people, let them make decisions about how they're going to spend their money. So thank you. And actually that dialogue, I'd like it to continue, but texting at that number, I'll say it one more time, 385-268-9458. If anybody wants to reach out, preferably without death threats, but if people want to send those, 385-268-9458.
Would be interested. I am blessed to serve as the chair of North Point Solid Waste Special Services District right now, and we've been exploring ways to handle e-waste, and don't know that we've received anything yet from the state, but that would be a ongoing conversation. I know that our manager and some of our board members would like to have.
Yeah, I'm interested in the rare earth minerals that are associated with that. The reality is these devices that we all carry, they've got recyclable components to them, and our best friend in the world is not China. I wish we were better friends with those good people. Chinese Communist Party, I'm not a fan of, but that's where most of the world's rare earth minerals are. And the question is, could we extract them from these devices that we change out? So I'm interested in that. Craig Hall, I'm sure you know of him. He's city attorney, represents many of the city. Okay, good. So I've got this letter. Scott Smith, you may know, he's my partner in Pleasant Grove City Council in Highland, but he sent me this letter. So I'm looking at that. I think there's a way we can avoid sending toxic materials to the waste, that we actually could take some of the rare earth minerals, for example, out. I don't know the technology associated with that, but so I'm looking at possibly opening a bill file regarding that, among other things.
Well, thank you for that. One of the reasons I still have a 6+ is for not wanting to use any more additional
Good for you.
minerals.
Love it.
So
Yep.
I don't have a good camera, but I don't stand steady enough to hold a good camera anyway, so whatever. But I hear from not only our constituents here, but in other connections I have throughout the county, and people just love what you do for the state
thanks.
of Utah. So thank you so much, Senator Kennedy, for your work, the work that you do, and the perils that you face in order to do the good job that
Thanks.
you do. So thank you.
Appreciate that.
Anything else, council?
No, we appreciate you. It means a lot that you'd come here and chat with us,
It does.
check in on us.
Yes.
We're doing
Yeah,
well.
I'll try to do that occasionally, as I do with other cities, but just be in touch. And I know you've got a lot of things
Absolutely.
to do, but please.
Our
let me
city
know.
administrator, Adam, would like to.
Just as an update with UDOT and the signal at 200 North there, 200 South, sorry. We met with them after you came here last time,
200 North.
and is it 200 North?
275
Okay,
West 200
sorry
North, I
about
think is
that.
my address. Anyways, just down the street.
And we've added that to our signal agreement, so it's an official approved signal location by Lindon City Council and by UDOT, so when and if it meets warrants, that's all up to UDOT now.
Okay.
So that's 100% in their court, but it's been
Thanks.
approved as far as Lindon City Council as a possible signal location.
That's very helpful, and it has changed quite a bit in the past 2 years. It continues to change. There's a lot of people moving in and out of that west side. So, yeah, thank you. That helps.
And also, I don't know if you have any patients that use the transit there, UTA busing at all, if that's an
Don't
issue.
hear about that, but
I've been-
what are their reports?
Well, with UTA, we have a senior living place there, Avalon. There's
Right.
senior apartments. We have individuals there that are, have different ADA disabilities besides being seniors who may not be able to drive. And so been working with trying to get UTA to have an official stop there for those individuals. And that would also serve your plaza of
Excellent.
businesses.
Maybe
too.
that can be part of the conversation. That's
Okay.
really
I'd love to.
helpful
It's been a
information.
really very slow bureaucratic process,
Shocking.
just like UDOT.
It's
So,
very frustrating.
Anyway, would love to get some conversation there to
Good.
maybe, move
I'll keep
some-
that as part of my
move the needle.
consideration. Yeah, thanks. That's great.
okay. Well, great. We could always reach out to you offline.
Let me
There,
know.
I have a couple things already percolating in
Okay.
my head, but don't want to take time here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you again.
Appreciate the time. Thanks for all the good work that you do, and thanks to the citizens as well. I won't stay for the rest of the meeting. I'm sure it's going to be exciting and interesting, but thanks for all you do.
Yes.
Catch us on YouTube.
And thank you for being here, and anyone here from the public, you don't feel like you have to stay for the whole meeting. We love to have you, but you are welcome whenever it's a good time for you. All right, so any other public comment? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our item number 4, council reports. And I'll start here on my right, if that's all.
Yeah, I'd
okay
love
with you,
to.
Jake?
I'd love to start just a few updates from a few of the organizations I'm associated with. Had the opportunity to represent us as a council and the mayor as well today at a ribbon cutting for the Bright Star Healthcare, right by Dr. Kennedy's office down there. It was great, good new business. There's some good offices down there, and they seem mostly full. Office vacancies are up right now, but did that in conjunction with the Pleasant Grove Lindon Chamber of Commerce, and just a great new business, new jobs here in the city, and always good to speak on our behalf and invite new businesses into our community. Police had a chat today with Chief Brower. Had an interesting Halloween. Interesting is probably the nicest way to put it. A couple of different events that took place there that police involvement was required, and appreciate our department handling it in a very mature and a very professional manner. Officer Barlow, who we know and love, is retiring November 30th. That's a tough one. We'll miss him, and there's a few items for that in the consent agenda item, but creates a little bit of upward movement for potentially for officers. Also creates an opening for a new officer if anyone of us know someone. That's always a difficult job and one of Chief's main jobs, so we're thinking of him there. Parks and Rec, not a lot to announce from Parks and Rec. They are having a turkey bowl this year. I think it's their second. They did one last year as well. 11, 22, 23, 8 a.m. Should be lots of fun. There is a division for you, Mike. I'm just kidding.
Okay, you know, Councilman, I was gonna say, if you'd have told me that 40 years ago, I'd be excited. Not so much now.
Well, there is an adult division, so I'll put you on my team. You can play quarterback. Had the opportunity to go to the Halloween Spooktacular and was shocked by the amount of people that were there. I don't know how many of you went, but man, that thing has absolutely grown in popularity, and saw several of our potential council members, our wonderful candidates, councilors, city council as well. So that is a event that continues to grow, and it's great. So that's all I have today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I have a few items, actually. I too, Rhonda and I had a trunk at the trunk or treat, and it was, we were stunned at literally how many people attended and how excited the kids were, and there were some pretty cool costumes. I mean, there was a lot of these kids, some of them, their parents went all out, and so it definitely is a worthwhile endeavor, and had a lot of positive comments and so forth. So I kudos to our Parks and Rec department and all those other good folks who spearheaded that. They deserve recognition for that, so thank you. This morning, the reason I couldn't get over to the ribbon cutting was we had a DRC meeting with an architectural firm out of California, and they are representing a bank that is looking at locating out front there at Songbird in front of Wayne Corbridge's project. I asked them for a timeline. They indicated that once they got their entitlements and once they got their plans, they're shooting probably for one of our next, I know we only have 2 more planning commission meetings, I think, before the end of the year, but they would like to get started the first of next year. And I've never seen anyone as prepared, but also asking the right questions. And I feel like we left that meeting, they were very pleased with what we shared with them. And really kind of, we were able to prep them, prime them. So it seemed like it's gonna go through very, very smoothly. So we were excited about that, to get something along that corridor there finally, so.
Great.
What's that?
That's great.
Oh, yeah. North Point Solid Waste Special Services District. I'm gonna send a photograph. I'm gonna let the council and we can make it public record if you like, but we had a board meeting about 2 Mondays ago. The next day, our boardroom is on the west side of the administration building. The next day, a Republic garbage truck, fully loaded, rolled down the hill and crashed into the west side of our building. The first picture shows what the conference room looked like after the crash. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that literally some of us would have been killed. It crashed right where I usually sit. No more, I won't be sitting there anymore. But it'd be fun just to, well, not fun, but
Oh, my heavens.
it'd be interesting just, I'll pass those down, but that's what it looks like.
That's scary, holy
So,
cow.
so it was very, very scary, so you
my.
pass that down.
Goodness.
Yeah, there's 3 photos there, but
So the truck is in the boardroom.
in the boardroom, yes. And it took our conference table, and we have some other tables against the wall for handouts and so forth, and it literally smashed them into the other wall, to the east wall. So there was a little bit of intrigue there. We are in the process. We actually have a draft copy that our attorneys and other attorneys have looked at to change. I think I mentioned this to you. We're going to change from a special services district to a interlocal agency, interlocal agreement with our member cities. There's really hardly any difference whatsoever. It's just more convenient, it's easier. We will be bonding here for our improvement, expansion, and under the county's guideline, or under the county's auspices for Special Services District, they have to approve us to bond, they have to approve us to do a lot of things, and frankly, they've kind of come to us and said, we don't want to be involved anymore. And so with their blessing, we're moving forward with becoming a special, or interlocal agreements. And a lot of groups in the county have gone that route. So just know that that'll be coming. We can do one of 2 things. We can come and make a full-blown presentation to the council, or if you would like, we can meet with the mayor and Adam and Brian, or you can just trust me, I'm from the government.
So Mike, with the interlocal agreement, then instead of the county having to have the umbrella over that, then you go to each, for the bonding, you would go to each of the cities within that agreement for approval, or how does that
Well,
work?
I don't know that we need, the representatives on the board who represent the member cities, that's where we would get the approval, but we're gonna leave it to them to make certain that their councils and their administration knows, first of all, what's going on, and then secondly, is we are more than happy to come. The question has been asked, does that put our member cities, is that an obligation or a debt against their budget? The answer is no, it's not.
Okay.
It's the same way now. If for whatever reason we were to go belly up and we had those bonds, even right now as a special services district, the member cities would still, would continue to pay their dues or pay their share or whatever. But that's no different with this interlocal agreement. So that's coming, and we're glad because that does give us some flexibility. We have talked, I had a chance to visit with the mayor about, we own 42 acres there to the north of the landfill and the transfer station. There's some possibilities there for some development. We want to retain some of the ground for future expansion, and that's another discussion for another day. But we're exploring those possibilities, and as that progresses, we'll keep everybody informed. And then this is more informational than relevant, but I don't know how many of you remember Reese DeMille? Reese was,
Yes.
Reese is no longer, he's no longer with Republic. He left a while ago, and he is now a manager for Neaters. He's sort of like an Uber manager. I think he oversees all of so anyway, just for your information. I wish Mike were here, but he's not. And Brian, this may be of interest to you. I had a very lengthy and one-sided discussion with Tim Clyde today. And I think you know what's going on there. And so just, I asked him, you know, what his concerns and his issues were, but I made no representation whatsoever as to our stance. And so I think you know what's going on there, but hopefully we can get that resolved, so. And then, you know, in the prayer, the mayor mentioned that we could love one another, and I don't want to get too maudlin, but I will have to say for the record, I do love each one of you very much. It's been a very, very important part of my life, and I've learned so much, I've grown so much, and so thank you. I express my love to each of you, and I'm sincere when I say that, so thank you. Thank you. That's all.
You're bringing tears to my eyes. The countdown is on where we're losing our good friends here.
That's why I quit when I did.
And I also needed to mention Daryl Magleby, Councilmember Magleby. He's home sick this evening, so our prayers go to him as well. He's not been feeling well this past week. All right, I'll pass to you now.
Thank
Randy.
you, Mayor. Just echo also how fun Halloween was. It just was an amazing time with all of those citizens and maybe adopted citizens from other communities that joined us as well. It was countless, hundreds of people that joined us, and just watching this evolve over the years. One of the things I had the opportunity to last week, or the few days before, is take a little pre-tour of the Spook Alley, and just how much fun Alan does and his team. Well, I know that all of the Park and Rec has something to do with that, but how wonderful it is that all that effort that goes into building our little Spook Alley. It is not just a little, I don't know, people jumping out from around the corner. It's much more than that. And I guess I don't see anybody here from Park and Rec, but I would say I would love to see us go longer than just that one night, if it's depending on where it falls with Halloween. I think that night is a nice night to do it for free, but I think you could get away with a couple of dollars a head and still get a line down the block to do that, and to have it go to maybe something within the city would be a wonderful opportunity. Though I watched that line, as many people were at the trunks getting the treats, the line never went down. It was always all the way to the sidewalk, to the parking lot, trying to get into the building to get through that Spook Alley. So it's a wonderful event that our city puts on. I'm grateful for all that. I was along with the mayor as well, with our city youth council, and they had a fun little trunk, not as elaborate as some, but it was spooky for some of the kids to have to reach in and get spooked anyway to get their little sucker. But to watch youth of all ages, to see those with handicaps and families of all the different parts of life, all come together and enjoy that event was just kudos to our city. Let's see, I think I'm crossing these off in a okay way. Life Hacks 101 is coming up this Wednesday from 7 to 9. I'm sure others will speak about that, the mayor and maybe Adam. It is our second annual Youth Hacks 101 for the youth in our city, and also neighboring cities are welcome to join and just get information and be able to gather together and knowing how to get through the next couple of years of their life and joining adulthood at some point, which we all have to do, don't we, sadly, but leave those young, tender years. But we've got a wonderful opportunity for those and this year it will be at the community center, so we invite all to be able to enjoy that evening and encourage you to encourage others too. And then Youth Council will also be meeting in this room a week from tonight on the 13th, and for their second meeting as an elected body. And they will also be having a fun little service project where they will join the mayor in being able to go around and picking up bags of leaves. So community, make sure you have your bags for your leaves filled up and to capacity so that we can get those picked up for you. If the Youth Council and the mayor don't pick it up, our fine city public works team will help do that as well. Trying to read my notes, which I was trying to do while other things today. Yes. Yeah, I think it's pick up leaves that I couldn't read. And then the Kimber Academy, Mayor gave me the opportunity to speak Friday night to a wonderful group of individuals at the Kimber Academy, which is located in South Lindon off of State Street, in that same plaza in the what is it called? Southtown Plaza, where Magby Fresh is. A wonderful group of individuals who put on an opportunity for youth of all ages to be able to come together and to learn in an academy setting. It's not so much a school, but it is basically a way for the kids to get tutored and understand America and different things on that nature. It's so patriotic within the walls of that fine institution, and I was able to be with other like-minded individuals, and Mayor gave me that opportunity in her stead, and I thank her for that. It was a wonderful event, and I'll get a little teary-eyed because the gathering of people that it was, and so thank you, Mayor. And again, it was a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to see what goes on there, and I encourage people to step in and see that. And I'll probably mention this at our youth council meeting, but I'm having a blank. Betty, what's her first name? Jocelyn, thanks. Abadi, she gave us speeches as well that night, and just a fine individual that represents not only Kimber Academy, but a Lindon Youth Council was able to join us there. One last thing before I get to second to last thing is I was just wondering if, as I listen sometimes occasionally online, I notice that we get some staff sometimes that has something to say. I'm wondering if we could have a second mic just available for those times when we have maybe more. Tonight we won't need one, but an opportunity to have a mic to stay back in the back of the room and just turn it on when needed, because we don't always get to hear from people and online. I know what happened because I was here, but maybe other individuals don't. And my last one is to echo what Mike had to say. I just wrote down my notes, says it's the misty eye season, and as we close down, as we ramp down towards the end of the year, yes, it's a tender time for many of us. I'm saying goodbye, and yeah, so again, just love associating with all of you. So we've got the fabulous staff, and I will be very lonesome, and probably will have to hang out just to say hello. So I'm done. Thank you, Mayor.
Van.
Just one item real quick. Last November 1st, our Public Works Department, Juan Garrido, hosted a water meeting, brought in some of the citizens. The mayor was there, people that still farm, still have orchards, and there were multiple presentations from different agencies where incentives can be provided, grants can be obtained, from water conservation to noxious weeds. Very well done. We kind of have to do it because of some of the grants that we have received. But in talking to those that participated in our citizens, it was very well received. There's nothing forced or required, but it's just opportunities that can help our landowners. So it was very well done, and glad that it went off as well as it did, and grateful for those that participated.
Van, may I ask a question? I should have asked this earlier. On the Fourth North piping project, to your knowledge, that's coming along as planned?
I believe so, yes.
And
Haven't had an update for a little bit, but I drive by it multiple times a day.
That will allow us then to pick up our water, our irrigation water further
Right
down?
now, a portion of it.
A portion.
And then ideally, a redundant source next, and then we'll see where that goes.
The pipe's being sized where we could take all of it, but we don't currently own the capacity for all of it in that.
Okay, all right, good to know.
There's some capacity we own in it now that just goes down the canal right now. And so we'll be able to pull that part out.
Yeah.
But beyond that, that's negotiations with Central Utah Water, which has been going on for some time.
We're the right man for the job, so
He is.
good.
Thank you for your service, everyone, in those various capacities. You're amazing. Really quick, I was able to attend the EDC Utah down at UVU. They're holding some events for various, they're having economic development meetings over the course of the year. So Mike Florence will probably attend one in the future. They kind of wanted to spread these out. And basically, it's to discuss trends and key issues impacting the communities and how to look for opportunities to collaborate for economic development for the county itself. And currently, they're looking for Utah County to maybe create some sort of a task force to work on branding, just recognizing that we will become probably the highest population center in the state, and how to just be more cohesive in those economic opportunities and how we vision things out. So, and then also this last week, I had the opportunity to attend the Growth and Prosperity Summit at UVU and spoke on a panel regarding housing. And it was interesting. One of the panelists, developers you can imagine, said that he thinks there needs to be zoning reform because cities are not doing their part. And I definitely politely disagreed with him openly in that meeting and said, just stated some of the facts. You know, here in Lindon City, for example, we have to meet those moderate income housing reports that the state sends our way, that we must cooperate to get our B and C road funding and what forth. And we have entitled units waiting yet to be built. And so this is the case throughout the county and throughout the state. The amount of homes and doors that have been given permission to be built is in the tens of thousands. And so cities are cooperating. We're doing our part. We're doing our best to try to help with the affordability issue and creating a variety of housing options. And so anyway.
Maybe I could just interject here, Adam. What we may want to do, and maybe forward this on to Senator Kennedy.
Yes.
Is to just, this is how many we've entitled in Lindon that have not yet been built on. And I will reach out to him as well, but kind of before you do more mandates, check to see how many lots are entitled but haven't been. And
I shared that stat from Lindon City. What we've entitled, it is essentially a 20% growth here in our community. So, and I got those numbers from our community development director, Mike Florence. So other communities have done as much or more. So anyway, that's one of the issues to share with our legislators this next legislative session. Among others, as keep the local control. We know how best to build and develop our communities, and we want to be partners with the issues statewide, but one size fits all from the state is not always best. So anyway, interesting. Also, I have for you here the Utah Lake Symposium. As you know, Lindon City currently has a board representation with the Utah Lake Authority as one of the mountain to lake cities. And so at the symposium, this is just something that I thought was really significant for you to take a look at the different lake projects that have been done recently and are currently underway. There's a lot going on to help clean up the lake. It's going to be a long, slow process, but working with scientists, working with those that want to improve the water quality and the ecosystem, but also improve the recreational opportunities and access. So that's a great little summary there. And there's more to come. So good things happening. And that's all I have to report. So I will now turn it over to our administrator, Adam Cowie.
Yeah, just a reminder, Randy, we have you down for the newsletter. Okay, due the end of this month. Awesome, thank you. And then you mentioned the leaf pickup, and then also the dumpsters will be placed around town November 11th through the 20th for the public to use as a fall cleanup. And then our employee Christmas party will be at the community center on it's Friday, December 15th. And I don't have the exact time on that, but if you'll just mark out that evening, that would be great.
So we're not gonna have the Thanksgiving dinner like we did 2 years ago?
No, we've.
Just to donate to the food pantry, was it something like that?
We did the food drive as part of the citywide drill, and then there's also
The turkey bowls.
there is a turkey bowl on that
That's-
Wednesday that you're welcome to drop some food off if you participate on that too. So
Or you don't have to participate, you can just
Yeah.
drop off.
yeah, that's all I have, Mayor.
Come on.
Yeah, right, yeah, me and my walker.
We get bandage and liniment and splints and all that stuff.
No, I'll get my electric wheelchair.
There you go.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. And then next, we will have item number 6 on the agenda. This is the approval of the minutes from our council meeting dated back on October 16th. If you've had a chance to review and have any additions or corrections.
I have a correction. Kathy, if we look at page, let's see, what is it? 8 of the minutes, 15 of the staff report, lines 30 through 35, I think if there's redundancy in this, on this page, and if we were to remove, to the best of my knowledge here, 30 through 35, it would remove the redundancy and make cohesiveness. So I don't know if anybody else noticed that. It's on page 15 of the staff report, 8 of the minutes. And if you look at if you look there, it says, on line. Yes, I see what you're talking about. Okay, you're welcome. It's just twice, those few lines. Thank you.
All right, and then I just had a quick little clarification in the council reports on page 2 of 17 there for my own. I had reported that at Mountain Land Association of Governments meeting, one of the topics of discussion had been the recent road fees that some cities had started charging. Lindon has never done a road fee, but some communities had, and there was a court case where they were upheld in court as a legitimate fee, but the next legislative session is anticipated that there will be some parameters, given around those if cities implement
Could come.
them. Yeah. So, okay.
Has anyone been following the potential restrictions on realtors as far as commissions go and
Out of
banks
Missouri.
and fees and so forth? That could be impactful.
Yep.
Right.
Was that $1.5 billion out of Missouri?
All right. Anything else on the minutes?
If nobody else, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 16th, 2023, with the adjustments as noted.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Broderick, seconded by Councilmember Vanchery to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the minutes are approved. Thank you very much. All right, consent agenda. These are items that are just a matter of housekeeping that can be approved here don't require public comment. So I'll turn this over to Mr. Cowie then to present these items.
Yeah, on the proclamation, that was just something, the mayor was approached here a few months back, and we agreed to put that on as Lung Cancer Awareness Month. On the second item, the 2024 meeting agenda, if I could just ask your opinion on a couple quick things. So if you'll note on this is what happened to us this year. We have several holidays that actually fall on Mondays, and so we're closed. So we have 3 meetings throughout the years that are moved to a Tuesday evening. So hopefully that's okay. And then February 22nd, we've identified as a Thursday meeting for our budget kickoff. And then April and October are spring and fall break. So we've just put an asterisk there that we may cancel those. And then this one in November is the night before Thanksgiving there for the Planning Commission. So any thoughts, concerns on that for right now?
I just would say I won't be here, but I challenge if you have one on the 1st to try to do better than we did a few years ago on the 1st. The council that's here, do you know what I'm talking about? You council here. Yeah, you have to look into that and see how we handled April 1st a few years back.
Oh, April 1st. I
Yes.
thought you were saying
I had some
another
fun.
month.
We had some fun that day, so.
April 2nd.
We did have fun. Yeah.
So you'll have to look into that. So I thought maybe when you put an asterisk, I thought that was the holiday you were talking
Okay.
about. So
All
no,
right.
but yeah, just remember how much fun we had a few years back.
And the budget kickoff night, February 22nd, is my birthday, so
Oh.
that'll be a great night.
Move that
No,
to a
it's
different day?
fine. Literally, it's not
Okay,
an
we'll put a
issue.
candle on your cake there.
That's right.
so.
By Magleby.
Always fresh.
And then on the surplus items there's some equipment, and then as Jake mentioned, we have some public surplus, or some surplus for disposal of some suppressors on rifles, and then also Sergeant Barlow's sidearm that he was issued, as has been tradition, that's traditionally been gifted from the city to the officers that have served here, and so would like to declare those items surplus. In addition to that, I sent you an email. We had one item that came, this additional hoist that was listed as a $500 value. So if we could add that to the list.
No, Adam, on the outside chance that someone doesn't bid on it and doesn't buy it, what do we do then?
So we put this usually on publicsurplus.com for our equipment. If it doesn't sell there, then we've tried some other sources, KSL, but you'd be surprised. Almost, I bet 99% of the stuff gets sold on that public surplus.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Mayor, if I may, regarding some of the consent agenda, the number one thing is that I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I know cancer reaches so many of us and in our families, especially here on this dais, but I happen to have both of my grandmothers died from lung cancer. So I so appreciate the awareness that this proclamation makes, and it was very well written, and I so appreciated it. So personally, it's very impactful for me.
Yes, and here in Utah, some of us, I have a dear friend who passed from lung cancer, not through a lifestyle choice, but from radon exposure.
Yep.
So
Utah's
that
number one.
Utah, that's very real here, so.
Yep.
All right, so awareness of that is always helpful.
Are you ready for a motion?
Yes, I would, thank you.
I move to approve the consent items as presented with the note for the other item.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Broderick, seconded by Councilmember Hoyt. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? That is unanimous. All right, we're now on to item number 8. This is a public hearing regarding the declaration of some real property as surplus, and we'll have staff present more information about this. So we do need to open a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open that public hearing, Mayor.
Second.
All right, motion by Councilmember Powell, seconded by Councilmember Hoyt. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are now in a public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is a review to consider declaring this small little parcel right here on the corner of Center Street and Geneva Road as surplus real property, real land, not equipment. This is a parcel that's owned by Lindon City for probably the last 60 years. You may recall we had a sewer lift station that was on this property that operated for over 40 years and was decommissioned. When the Ivory Homes project came online, we rerouted some of this effluent, and actually is now all collected in that larger sewer lift station that's out by Ivory's development and the freeway there. So this building sat empty for quite a while. There was the wet well, it goes down probably 30 feet or more, was filled, and the building eventually demolished. We've been approached by the owner that owns these two parcels, and they've made a verbal offer of interest to purchase that property. It is 0.06 acres. Given the value that we've seen in some other areas that we've had an appraisal on in 700 North that doesn't have some of the characteristics of this, we feel like that offer that they've made of $10,000 would be adequate, particularly given the encumbrance that's on this piece. So if you look at that, if you had 20-foot setbacks off of the roadways, there's really no buildable area on that. Coming off 20 feet from Center or 20 feet from Geneva, you'd have a very small area that something could be located. And then in addition, when we demolished this, we just took the surface improvements out. So all of those concrete footings for that wet well are still in place. And so this is heavily encumbered, not what we would consider a buildable parcel. And again, that value that we would estimate, I wrote into the staff report. We've seen some other properties where we're granting an easement, and that easement is encumbering a buildable parcel. Sometimes those easements are valued around 30% of the appraised value, and so again, we feel like this is a good offer. We've talked about disposing of this in the past, and this was the right time with this individual expressing interest, so.
I see in there where it's noted that there's the buried concrete, but we would have no liability or responsibility for that going forward, correct?
That's a great question. I will verify that with Brian, and so I think as long as.
He was nodding his head at
Yeah, as
that.
long as we're disclosing that, yeah, I think that's the big issue.
That'd be the only thing is, hey, you buy it as is and you know it's there.
Right, and so, and he's aware that that was there, and so I think we're okay there, but we'll verify that we have all of our legal avenues checked, so. Any questions on this?
I think it's great to always be looking at things that are not needed and just, run lean and run smart and surplus these things and bring them, back into the purse for the community to use.
And it makes sense for
Repurpose.
that person to be the one that buys
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
Oh, who
Grateful
else
that
would
we-
ever pick it up, so.
Be a pretty good farewell party.
And I have to
$10,000.
commend Adam and staff for, handling these things so professionally and negotiating them well on our behalf.
That's
So,
it, thank you.
Public? Okay, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
A second.
thank you. Okay, motion by Councilmember Hoyt to close the public hearing, seconded by Councilmember Powell. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are now back to you, council. Any further discussion or questions in this item?
I'm happy to make a motion when we're ready.
Please, that would be great.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-22-R, declaring 0.06 acres of land at the corner of Geneva Road and Center Street as surplus property.
I'll second that motion.
All right, thank you very much. We have a motion by Councilmember Powell, seconded by Councilmember Vanchery. Any further discussion? All right, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right. Thank you very much. That is unanimous, and then we're moving on. We are cruising. This might be a record night. Here we go. Item number 9 on the agenda. This is a review and action to recertify our Lindon Justice Court.
So this is an issue that comes up every few years, where we have to go through an exercise that the state sends out, this questionnaire, and we complete that and submit that back to the state administrative office of the courts. Our judge has reviewed this, Brian has reviewed this, and prepared a concurrence letter, basically, that says he agrees that everything meets the state requirements. We also have, in addition to this, and it was not included in your staff report, a safety plan, a security plan for the Justice Court, and we just didn't want to put that out in this public forum. So it's just a couple of pages that talks about some of the security measures that they may use in the court and if they have issues arise. But other than that, everything that we would submit back to the state's included in your staff report, so.
All right, wonderful. Okay, council, any further questions?
No, I saw one typographical error that probably needs to be fixed. It's an easy one. It's on page 53, section 3, talking about the minimum furnishings, and it says on the third line in that paragraph, Utah State 5, and it should be Utah State flag.
Oh, thank you.
Good
Is that
catch.
5 guys or 5?
Autocorrect.
That's right.
Mayor, I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve Resolution 2023-23-R, approving the recertification request for the Lindon City Municipal Justice Court as presented, well, with the one change that Randy,
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Hoyt, seconded by Councilmember Broderick. Any further discussion or comment from our council here in the room? Okay, hearing none. We'll bring it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right,
30
We are
seconds.
recertified.
To keep it
Motion
under
to adjourn.
an
Second.
hour.
Hey, motion to adjourn by Councilmember Broderick, seconded by Councilmember Powell. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much. What an efficient meeting.
Hang around for another couple hours, just for old time's sake.
I'm going to.
Take note, potential candidates, this is how we do it, under an hour, okay?
This was a record to get under an hour.
And welcome Dr. Allen here. Your son did a great job describing his service with his project.
Oh, thank you.